Welcome back to another episode and a new build series. We have 1 week to get this Toyota Land Cruiser FZ 105 series ready for my brother-in-law for a massive Cape York adventure. So my brother-in-law TJ recently purchased himself a 105 series Toyota Land Cruiser. Probably one of the most beat up cruisers you've ever seen, but he's trusted us to get this thing in tip-top shape, ready for the trip of a lifetime to Cape York and back. Massive suspension upgrades, tyres, wheels, camping mods, a top-to-bottom service overhaul, and a whole lot more. We've got only just over 1 week to get it all sorted, so let's hook in. Proudly supported by Opus, Ultimate 9, Superior Engineering, GME, Tyre Gear, and in part by... So mate, here it is, the 105 build. What's your thoughts on it?
It's a good car, as you can see. What's this, TJ's car? Everyone's seen it on one episode where he didn't have a spare tyre. It didn't break.
No, he broke a window and ripped a fan shroud off and stuff, but it put up with the punishment pretty good.
But after that trip, and after them driving our cars, they thought, this isn't really up to scratch. So, FZ 105, nothing flash, not locked. It's got 35, some basic suspension. We're about to change all that and make it way more capable.
And this thing's an absolute shitbox, if we're being honest. It's probably one of the worst 105s I've ever seen.
All I'm going to say is, my car looks good in video, right? This car does not look good in video.
No, you don't want to see it in real life.
So if we took this to the show, mate, I don't think he'd have any hair left, even though he doesn't.
Well, you know the best thing?
What?
It's not a Jeep.
That's right. At least this brother-in-law has half a sense.
So let's get her in the shed and we'll show everyone the plan to start her off.
Yeah, let's rip on in.
Mate, how's the, look at this rust patch. Look at this rust patch. This thing needs some serious work to actually look nice.
It does. And you know what's funny?
What?
They're probably silly enough to do it.
Now, being that it is an older vehicle, second-hand, pretty worn, there's a massive amount of servicing, small bits and pieces that we have to work our way through before the Cape York trip. But Berto said, hey, I'm not starting with that today. I've just been on holidays. I need something a bit more exciting to get started on the build.
Yeah.
So episode 1 is going to be full suspension kit, tyres and wheels. Going to make an absolutely massive difference to this vehicle. So run us through quickly, mate. You got 1 minute. Run us through what we got.
1 minute. All right, we got Dirty Life Messes, Neg 38, special valves. We have our Predator New Mutant 35-inch mud tyres. They're a good tyre. We have heavy-duty lowers, heavy-duty uppers, heavy-duty panhards, long shocks, resi mounts, coil retainers, sway bar extensions. We've got all the accessories you need to go with a big lift kit. Bump stop spacers, Superflex radius arms, all their chromoly steering arms, panhard, more mounts, and your basic 4-inch soft springs.
Now the best thing about this is instead of being a week-long job on the ground, you got a hoist.
This is our first suspension install, well, other than the long arms, first full suspension install on a hoist. So you're going to see me swearing, standing up instead of laying down.
We'll start over again, grow ourselves new skin, get a house in
See that? Enough
Recall.
talk to break your wrist, mate. SP Radigan.
Give us what's step 1?
Step 1, how I'm going to do it, I'm going to pull all the wheels off, get them out of the way. And then I haven't decided where I'm going to start, front or back, potentially at the back because I've got most of the weight over the front of the hoist. These aren't the easiest cars to pick up, they don't have too many spots. So I feel like if I start at the front, put all the heavy stuff at the front, when I go to take the back stuff off, we don't want that. So that's where I'm going to start. Should we slash your sidewall so that no one else can ever use these pieces of shit again? Anyone want to buy 105 rims and tyres? Hit me up, we'll sell them before he even knows they're off his car.
Mate, this looks like one of my wash jobs. Look at the mud on this thing.
I'm not complaining, because I've got a hoist.
You know,
It's still not going to be great. I'm going to have to wash my hair every day I'm working on this.
every time you like undo a bolt apart, a whole bunch of mud's just going to fall on you.
Lucky I've got safety glasses. I'm just going to put a prop under the diff. I need to pull the sway bar out because it's going to stop me from getting lower control arm bolts and stuff, and to get it to drop down I also need to put extensions and stuff on. So lower control arms. There's nowhere really right and wrong to start this thing, so I'm just going to start with these right here. I'll go lowers, uppers. I'll probably take a shock off under the sway bar. It's got airbags in the back, we didn't know, so we have bump stop extensions and no bump stops. So that's the first hurdle, mate. First job in, straight up. But we'll sort it out. Mate, people put exhaust in the way of cars and that. It's not on, mate. Ugh. Mate, where's my safeties? You can see that all of these bushes in this car need attention. This has up and down, floppy as. This one also has up and down, floppy as. Oh, mate, I had a heart attack, you see that?
It's a good thing we're replacing all the suspension then, all new bushes all round.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, mate. Mate, it's fucking cars for you, mate. You say I'm just about to get it out, and it says, no, you're not.
Not today.
Not today. Shock in the way, apparently. First part out and have a look. They're not the happiest, they're getting a bit old, they're getting a bit cracked and burst. Perfect time to be switching them out anyway. These arms are adjustable. They come and they're actually shorter. I know in a patrol you normally make them longer. I'm just going to put them back to the same length, and then when we need to adjust it, we're on the wheel alignment to get the pinion angle right, we'll do it then. I'm going to go one for one, like pull one part off, put the new one on. I'm also going to clean up, and this had corrosion all over it, I'm going to give it a little clean up. Copper anti-seize, so next time I have to play with it, it's good to go. That's one lower in. We changed the lowers because the other ones are weak. You hit a rock on them, they bend, they're on a thin wall. This is chromoly. They also have a backbone on them, so they're really strong. And you get adjustment, so you can adjust your pinion angle and your wheel toe and everything. So I'm going to continue pulling things out on this side one for one. I've got a shock, I've got to pull a spring out, I've got to pull the upper out.
I find a better way. Am I crazy or the wind is gonna blow?
We've got one of the little uppers out. You can see how weak they are in... Let me get one. Gosh, she told you not to worry about. See, they're obviously way short on this. We just adjust them out. As you look, this one here, that bush is fully shagged. So we're lucky we're changing them, mate. It's not just an upgrade, but it's also maintenance.
2 for 1 special.
2 for 1 special, mate.
And the adjustment on these arms just means when you lift your car and put a bigger suspension lift in, you can realign all your geometry so everything's nice, everything's correct and accurate how it's meant to be.
Correct, because if it's not, we're at unis, brake diffs, vibrations.
If you want to lift the vehicle properly, you can't just do shocks and coils. You got to do all your arms as well, get all your geometry nice.
Correct.
I feel fine today. I had dreams of you in places I've not seen before. You get so kind.
Spring and airbag in the bin, because airbags are only for when you go towing. These types of airbags are only for when you go towing, you need a bit more support. Can't a spring that's too stiff, because then when you're driving normally, it's not comfy.
You build walls around your heart to try to lock it in.
So on these Land Cruisers, the rear are pin to bush, to eye, but they also have this top plate which mounts it to the chassis. So we need to pull this plate off, put it on the new shocks with the new bushes. So I'll get this off and I'll show you how they go back together.
Old shock, new shock.
Yep.
Bit longer, mate.
Way more travel. So these are the longest, I'm pretty sure we got the longest, so they're 13-inch travel, Superior 2.0 remote res. So they have, you know, all your adjustability, and they've got remote res, which means they have more oil than that. So on the long corrugated roads, these will not get hot and fade anywhere near as quick as them.
Perfect for Cape York.
Exactly. Perfect trip to wear them in on. Boom. They call me Butterfingers today, mate. Put in. Boom. Boom. That way, that way.
Everybody wants the same thing.
I have the fancy remote res brackets from Superior for the canisters. I'm just going to bolt these in so I can figure out exactly what way to route that hose. And then, because I've got to lock that top off. So the easiest way is to find out where it goes, run it, make sure it doesn't clash with anything, doesn't pinch, isn't going to get ripped off.
I'm gonna use it all
Now we've got it figured out, we're just going to tighten it up. Boom, boom. Get her in the car. It might still need to rotate a little bit, I don't know, because coil goes here, but a bump stop also goes here, so you don't want it to be over here. You don't want it to be over here. So you figure it out when I put a spring in there. Clock that around to the right position, just there. So I'm gonna have to rotate that a bit. Something like just there, will end up working. That looks pretty bloody good, mate. That's the old pan out. This is the new pan that's gonna go in. That one's hollow, this one's solid chromoly. This one weighs nothing. This one's pretty solid, it's not gonna break. But it's also adjustable, where that one's just a factory one. So as you're seeing, when I pulled that out, the whole diff went really far sideways. So this arm needs to be way longer than that. I don't have an exact measurement, so I'm just gonna wind it out a fair bit, go get a wheel alignment, and we'll have to set it properly.
And the adjustability of a panhard's required when you're going any more than like a 2-inch lift, because
Correct.
it allows you to recenter your rear diff and front diff. Otherwise, they end up sitting
Sideways
on your vehicle.
Yeah, and then all your weight's sort of towards one side. They don't drive very good. I just had to put the hoist up to get this down far enough, because you can see the difference in travel. This one's still got the original shock in. It's all the way up here. It looks like it's flexed up right now, but this is going to be the new full droop. That was the old full droop. That's a pretty good comparison.
Flex King coming
You'll probably
up.
get a good look from the back if you want to have a shot, mate.
So that's how much it's going to flex now. That's your down droop, and that's your old down droop.
That's a double down dog, hot dog, mate. See this? Bing! You play song on that, that's the brake line. So that's what the main reason everyone says you've got to change your brake lines, because this side isn't even drooped and that's already about to snap. So we're going to do it, that's why you should do it. We have braided extra long superior brake lines, mate.
I can't
There we
do
go,
it.
mate. All the main suspension components in for the back. So now, because we have bigger tyres, longer shocks, we don't want to bottom the shocks out or rip the guards up with the tyres. We have Superior's Billet Series bump stop extensions. They come in a few different sizes. I've gone with the 50mm. I've got a 50 and a 25 just in case. I'm not sure how much we're going to need. So I'm going to start with the 50, and then once we're done with the whole car, we'll flex it up, figure out what it needs and adjust the suit. The 105 has 2 bumps in the rear. It has this really hard one, which is like your final bump. And in the coil, normally, this one doesn't currently because we have airbags, they have a progressive one, which is what everyone puts in the patrols. They soft, they squish. So they're soft, they squish. And then finally, this contacts, and that's like your final bump. It's like it's not going past that one. I won't put these in yet, we'll have to get some bumps, but we will put these in after. When you have big shocks, your coils can fall out. So the Superior make a coil retainer. This bolts in through here, and it just clamps that in, so the coil can't fall out. We got, you know, all the adjuster nuts snipped up, including that. I've still got to do up all the main bolts, because you'll do it on the ground. Bump stops in. I don't have the stuff to fit the sway bar. They're slightly different. I think we need different links, and maybe I need to put rib nuts in the chassis, potentially. We'll figure that out in the next day or so. I'm gonna keep moving bar. I'm gonna pull this sway bar out so it's out of the way. If I need to come down, it's not hitting the ground. I'm gonna move on to the front of the car. I forgot one more thing at the back. Nice braided brake line. I cut the old one, as you've seen. So I'm gonna pull this one out, pull the braided one in. Look at that, full drip. Fixed up.
No more guitar string there, mate.
Nah, no guitar string. This thing's like, I don't know what you call that sort of string. I have nothing smart to say about it. So we're down to the front of the car. First step will be to undo the top of the front shocks, because they're up in the engine bay, and if I drop the bottom first, I won't be able to come down, and it's going to be a pain in the ass, so we're just going to do it this way. I'm going to start by undoing all these steering arms, so I'm going to undo all the nuts, pull the split pins out, get them out of the car. We're fully replacing them, so I'll just rip them out and say, see you later, alligator. These pins are a one-use only pin, so they're meant to be. You can reuse them if you're in a pickle, but we got a whole box, so on the ground, mate, Demi can pick them up later. One and done, at least one of them.
One hit wonder.
One and done, mate. Peanut's gone, mate. Just gonna clamp that line off so when I undo it, we don't lose all the fluid. Makes it a bit easier when you put it back together. Birdo's tech tips.
What's coming off next?
Sway bar, shocks, coils. That's one brake line. There's two on this. Comes in here, goes to there. It's got ABS, so there's one to each wheel. Pulling the radius arms out next, and then I'm going to start reassembling the front end one bit by bit. I've only got one of these stands. The way I was trying to pull it out wasn't working, so I tried to put this toolbox under it. Also, it didn't work. So I got my trusty tie gear straps, hold the diff up, prop over here, bing bang, this arm's about to come out, mate. Just like that.
And what's the arms that are going in this thing?
We have Superflex. We were going to get the Hyperflex, but we've seen how good the Superflex works in my mate Kane's car and your 80 series. So we're just going to keep running that. We didn't have two prop stands. I couldn't exactly figure out how to pull this out without the whole diff doing a backflip onto the car. So we've ended up back on the ground. There's no point even owning the hoist because I'm on the ground anyway. Boom.
Look at that part, mate. You got it.
Sakes, mate, let me tell you that. To get the other arm, I'm gonna put some straps on this diff, strap it up so it doesn't fall out and move around, and go back to a workable height because I don't like working on the ground. If this thing flies out or does something stupid, I'm gonna lose my brain, mate.
You're walking off this for the day, mate. Walking off for the week.
Nah, I'll be not the week, mate. I've got shit to do. Stand back while I do this. I think we're gonna be good. Which we rolled because I've only got one bolt into this because the caster was different between this and this. So I had to undo this one before I could fully put this one in. That's why it's sort of a shit job to do. But now I can use that, get that bolt in, and then this one will be in the right position. So that's good. Pat on the back, mate.
Mate, you had a win.
About time. Hyperflex arm going in. It's going to allow all the flex in the world. Boom, look at that, we're done. Time to knock off, boys.
So you're just saying, to get that in, there's a bit more work on this side.
So as you can see on this arm goes on top. That's where the original sway bar goes. The new arm has a new bracket. They give you spacers and a special bolt to go through that. And then one to raise this one up so that they're even. So I need to cut that off the diff. It is permanent. Once you cut that off, unless you're welding it back on, it ain't going back on. So you've got to think about that when you're buying these. Both the radius arms are in. I'm gonna call that knock off for the day. We got the back half of the car pretty much done. Front radius arms in, which is the longest part of the front end. And yeah, we'll get back into it tomorrow. Right, day two, back in the shed. Gonna continue on with this 105 build. I'm on the front end. I'm starting with putting resi mounts in, bump stop extensions, and then I'll be able to get the whole front end back together. Look at that, mate. Full of mud, water. So now I've got this out of the car. I'm gonna space these bump stops 25mm. The reason you do that is when you put bigger tyres on, you don't want to bottom the shock out, and you also don't want to rub on any guards. So I'm not sure if this is gonna need it, but I have to do it while the coil's out, so I'm gonna install it. and if I don't need it, I'll just pull the coil back out and uninstall it later, but I won't know until we get out and give it a go. And these bump stop kits are good. They come with all the hardware you need, the right length to fit them. They poke through, and then they just screw straight in. Place the original stuff with the new stuff, you're good to go. So we have the 25mm bump stop extension in, and the remote res bracket. So I've got these all in, so it's easy once I put the shock in, straight on. This is a 13-inch travel Superior 2.0 remote res with adjuster. I'm going to put these in at the top, both of them probably, and hang them. So then when I go up, I can get the stand, wind it up, put the bottom on.
You seem tired today. Were you up all night afraid of what the future might bring?
Resis are bolted up top. They're only loosely finger tight for the top of the shock, but I've got to come down, put this in. I've also got to put the coil in at the same time.
So carried away, like love is new, the body's first to touch you.
Look how much droop it's going to have, mate.
That's going to be big flex. Why do 105s have so much flex?
They have the hybrid bush, so whenever we change patrol arms, they always go to this style bush, because the pin bush actually like binds up and fouls where these don't.
And I'm on fire today, ain't no water here to calm or even put me on.
To fit a sway bar with these arms, because we've got to cut the other side off and it's raised up, if you didn't have this extension bracket, the sway bar would be twisted and it wouldn't be correct. So Superior supply this billet machined extension, which comes in where your factory one goes and raises it up, so it's the same height as that one. It's nice and easy. You literally just one bolt, do it up.
And then you just put in the factory front sway bar back in.
Correct. They work pretty good. They're pretty stiff. It'll make it drive nicer. It is going to reduce some flex. I don't know if there's too many options for sway bars on these. I don't think Superior do one, but you can get like, you know, your torsion one, or there is other high travel ones, but I don't think Superior does one. This is the other half of your sway bar extension. This gets it down off your sway bar, off your drive shaft, because if you don't have this, it's hard up on that. It's not what we want. I'm actually not going to put the sway bar in right now, because after we do this job, I'm going to have to undo it to pull the diff out, so I'm just not going to put it in. But this is where they go, nice billet block, and you know, your sway bar bolts to that, bolts to that, bolts to that, you're done. That's the sway bar.
Beautiful.
This one over here is wider than the factory one, so they give you this little bolt and spacer kit. If you forget to put these spacers in, guess what, mate? They snap off, then you're broken, no sway bar.
You don't want that.
So make sure you put these in when you put these sway bars in. Now we got the sway bar kits on. You see we don't have too many parts left. We got both front brake lines. You might be thinking, why has he got two? It's ABS. They have individual brake into each wheel, so that's why we got two of them. Nice steering dampener. And then we have tie rod, drag link, and a heavy duty panhard. These are all heavy duty chromoly. They're the good stuff. You don't want to snap a steering arm. We've seen what happens when you bend or snap a steering arm when you're away. It's not the best.
You've done that before.
Mate, I have snapped bent 3 steering arms, snapped a panhard. And then the other brand of panhard that I got had no warranty. It had warranty, but they didn't cover it. Where one of these ones, they have lifetime. You bend one, you get another one.
And we've never bent or broken a Superior steering arm. We've worn out like the end bits, which, you know, that's a wear and tear item, but we've never actually bent or broken one of their arms. They're very strong.
And like I have on the back of my wagon, I don't even have a Superior one. I have a PSR one. And it's like the chromoly, like comp spec big one. And I looked under it the other day. It's a banana. It's got a bend in it. Not gonna be able to go far enough, I don't think. Tiger your strap, mate. See this lining in the nut? Reverse thread, left-handed thread, mate.
Don't mess it up.
So if you're ever under a car and you're trying to, you're probably going the wrong way if it's a line. This is the old steering arm, old steering dampener. I don't need any of that, but I do need the bracket, your factory bracket from Toyota for the steering dampener that goes to the chassis. So to get that off, it's like a press fit because it's tapered. I think last time I tried to hit it, it didn't work, but I just pressed it out. Don't know if this will work, but we'll figure it out. This isn't gonna work. I said stuff the press. It's too hard. Got a hammer, got a vice, and I hit that like Eddie Murphy hit Will Smith. Is that who hit that dude?
Wrong person.
Who hit who?
Will Smith
Hit Eddie Murphy.
hit Chris Rock.
That's right.
Labels out here, now they can't tell me nothing. We give that to the people.
Next job up on this, I'm gonna put the brake lines on. So we've got these nice extended super long ones, and they're gonna be literally the perfect length. That's where it's gonna sit. Still got a little bit of slack, that's full droop. So I'll get these in and we'll continue on.
And the purpose of extended brake lines is because you got more flex, your factory ones will end up ripping out.
And then you'll have no brakes and you'll be stuck with no brakes.
And these are braided as well, so they're stronger to handle off-road conditions.
Yep, and they also make your pedal feel a bit firmer because they don't really have the expansion of a soft rubber one. So give you a better pedal feel, make you stop, make you stop better. You know, they look good too and they're a lot stronger.
Can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong. I was about to say that you get stuck with your dick in your hand, but I thought I'd better not say that.
I'll put it in anyway.
We go back, this is the moment, tonight is the night. We'll fight till it's over, so we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us. Like the ceiling can't hold us.
So full suspension's in, still gotta do the brakes, still gotta put the sway bar in, but I'm moving on to rims and tyres. We got 17 by 9, neg 38. Dirty Life messes. These are in the 5 by 150. They're pretty hard to get. Going on them, Predator MT New Mutants in a full 35 by 12.5, 17. And then to button this whole thing off, mate, I got these little quick release valves that you know I love so much from DL Auto.
Yeah, so that means you can air down your vehicle in about 10 seconds.
Yeah, 35 to 10 in less than, like I can do my whole car in like 35 seconds.
You know, the best thing about these rims is we didn't have time to get them clear coated, so after Cape York,
They're gonna look like mine.
they're going to look absolutely terrible. So,
Mine were perfect until we went to Cape York.
enjoy nice looking rims for the next 2 weeks, TJ.
I always get people be like, oh, how are they? And you know, they're not thinking they're that great. I've gone wheeling with people and they go, they're actually a good tyre. I'm like, yeah, they are. They're really good.
So these are beadlocks, so
Yep.
we'll be able to fit them here ourselves at the shed.
Yep.
So we'll hook into getting that done.
First step, you gotta put your valve in. You can't put the tyre on then put the valve in, don't work like that. But these ones are very simple. We have a washer, this is like a gasket, and then we have another gasket and a washer, and then 2 nuts, so they lock in. So what you do, poke him in the hole, put your next washer and gasket in, washer first, rubber washer, metal washer, and then one of these little fellas. They do come with a little tiny spanner, makes it nice and easy to get in, and they're only thin. So I'm just holding this other side with my hand so it doesn't spin, but the cap does actually have an Allen key. So you can really hold them and get these done up, and then you won't have a chance of them leaking or coming loose. So there is 2 nuts, the second one's a lock one, so the first one you want to get your full tension on it. Give it a wiggle, that feels very stiff, very firm. Now we'll get the second one, and that's where this little spanner comes in handy. Put that straight down on the first one, get yourself another 14, and you want to lock them 2 together, pretty much the same as if you're doing a Toyota wheel bearing. Once they're locked together, that ain't ever coming off, they're done up. So I've got a little bit of soapy water, this helps us put them on to the rim, because they don't just fall on, there is a bit of manhandling to get on. You want to use soapy water or like a tyre wax, you don't want to use anything that might break down the rubber or stay slippery, because you know you don't want it spinning on your bead. Place him on, push him around, mate, look at that, soapy
Wow.
water, boom boom.
Straight on.
Straight on. Come on, you're standing there scratching your head, bud. Come over here, come over here. Each rim brand's different. Some rims and tyres, you need to run the spacers for your beadlock rings. The best way to figure that is see what your rims say you need for thickness for the sidewall. And this is how we check. 20 mil, which isn't too bad. How thick is this? That's 5.2. I'm gonna pull another one off and we're just gonna double check, because then I can do some maths and figure out if we need more squish, less squish. Because if you do not have them and it's too thick and you do it up, you'll probably have a problem with beadlock bolts snapping on you. This is one of the important jobs. This is why you don't get any Tom, Dick or Harry to do it. So we've got 5 and then 6. So that's 12 and they're 20. So there's a fair bit of squish. I'm probably going to use those black rings. The second most important part about this job is you need to make sure that this doesn't get clamped in between here. It has to go down in its seat. That's one of the other reasons where everyone stuffs up. That's all in there good. Down, happy days. The other thing is you always want to anti-seize them. This used to be full. Mostly use it on beadlocks. That's how many I've done.
So if you do ever have to undo it, you don't snap all the bolts trying to get it out.
They don't seize. These ones especially, the back of the thread is open, so dirt can get into the backside and corrode it from under there, because you're probably thinking, how do you get dirt down in there? Comes from the back.
And then this is the long, painful process.
Yeah, I'm going to start this now. What's the time? 1 o'clock. I'm going to call this, we'll be done at 3 o'clock. And this is like, to see how quick that was. Now I just have to individually dip, make sure these start, run them down, get the torque wrench, go around them like 5 times until they're all down and not moving anymore. I'm starting with this little SP gun. It's not powerful enough to send them all the way home and they're going to be over tightened, so I can pretty much just send them all down until I've got them all down, otherwise it's going to take 4,000 years. Once I get them all down, grab the torque wrench and get them to actual torque. You'll see how much more they take with a torque wrench, so this isn't just sending them home with a rattle gun. I'm just going to go to 30. Mine are 33. I'm pretty sure that size bolt is like the 30, 33-ish. So 30 will be a good start. Let's see that look like.
Still heaps on them. So once you've got them all started with your little mini rattle gun thing, yeah.
Yeah, you know. And like that sounded like they were really tight, but they weren't, mate. I'm going to go a couple of opposites to get them right down to spec. And then once I go fully around, you'll see the ones I just did will be loose again. Because every time I pull one down, the one next to it gets less tension on it. So you want to go crisscross to start, get them all down pretty flat, make sure it's going down flat, and then you go around in circle and circle and circle. I come in here, mate, right, after a flood and everything's been moved around. This is my workshop.
Next time there's a flood, don't move anything, all right?
Yeah, don't touch it.
Don't touch it.
I don't care about the flood. How good is that, mate? We pumped that up, didn't take too long. Look at that, mate.
So all the bolts talk to spec, some air in it, pops that back bead on.
Yep.
In regards to balancing, we don't know yet. We'll drive it and see how it feels. Worst case, we will have to get it balanced at a tyre shop.
We're going to need a wheel on it. We'll probably get it balanced at the same time. Long trip.
So 1 down, 4 to go.
We can find our desires.
Boom, boom, chicken do, chicken do.
Look at that, mate. 5 rims, tyres mounted together, ready to go in the car. But what's next?
I need to bleed the brakes, and then I can put the wheels on, lower it down, do up all the bolts, take some pictures of it like a bloody Instagrammer.
So how do you bleed the brakes?
So I'm going to get you to hop in the car. We're going to turn the key on. This one has a power assisted booster, and you are going to pump the pedal up, and then I'm going to crack the bleeders on each of the brakes, starting at the one furthest away from the master, which is back right, and then we'll go back left, back right, front left, front right. That's the order we're going to get it done. Pump it up again. Hold it down. All bled up. It's got the stored pressure system, so you press it and it really pumps it out at you. Still full. Now, going to put wheels and tyres on.
And then tighten up the suspension.
Tighten up the suspension. That's going to be suspension, wheels, tyres done, mate.
Mate,
Look at that.
big gains.
Big gains. It's going to look cool. Mate, can we hire someone to lift these on?
For the kill, I'm doing it for a thrill. I'm hoping you'll understand.
She's looking a fair bit better, mate, with some nice rims and tyres on her.
It's looking way better for a Nugget, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's almost as good as my car.
Now you just got to go around and tighten up all the suspension when it's on the ground, because if you do it at full droop.
As soon as you go down, it puts excessive wear and stress on the bush, and they'll wear it really fast. So, gotta get it down where it's at right height. We've got all the bolts done up, everything's on, pretty much. Down at the local flex spot. So we're gonna flex this thing up, see if it rubs, see if it needs bump stops here or there. And, you know, get it figured out. We're gonna see what this suspension can do.
How's the droop on that thing?
Yeah, and like the front isn't working yet. Well, I think we need rear bump stops to make the front work better. That's a lot of droop, huh?
That's a lot of rear flex, but it's got no sway bar and no bump stop, so.
That's the thing too, if we had a rear sway bar in currently, because we don't, we need some brackets. The front would actually flex. I reckon this thing would go to the tip, to the tippy top, mate.
That's a lot of flex. Pretty nice upgrade there, mate.
Look at that, mate. And that's not really, that's still got a
little bit more to go.
It was just getting light. As soon as that wheel spun a little bit, I just stopped.
Suspension, wheels, tyres done. some massive upgrades. Finish up that episode there.
Yeah,
We're going to fiddle around with this, get some shots, maybe trim a few guards with the grinder.
yeah.
And then we're straight back to the shed to begin filming episode 2, which is a whole lot of servicing, front locker, air compressor, and we're finding a lot of things wrong with this car. So we've been flat out ordering parts. It's going to be a big job getting this thing tip-top ready for Cape, because obviously it's one thing to make it look nice, but you got to actually make it reliable too.
You need to be cool and reliable.
That's the fun part done. Onto the
Less fun part. All right.